Loaded
9
Sport.
Oh.
Does he sit second, then?
No, I don't think he does. I think Kevin Keegan probably sits second.
Oh God, what a scandal.
Austin Eckler versus the Cards. Go and fuck the lot of you.
God, Eckler.
He's making me like I'm some sort of cameo, like I've come in and go, hand out the bag, England to win.
Hello and welcome to episode 15 of Loaded Sport, where today we are going to be talking about the return of the Premier League season and week 16 of the NFL season. Joining me to go through both of those subjects are three gents that we're all quite familiar with, but we'll start by introducing Sam. You all right, Sam?
Step in at Christmas, best time together. Fucking great, mate. It's Christmas, isn't it? Best time of year. I'm sat here with a little drinky poo we'll come to. And yeah, I feel feeling all warm and fuzzy inside. Don't know about you boys.
Very good. Also, we're joined by Skin. Skin, you all right?
Yes, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. It's been a very stressful week preparing for the week off that I get between Christmas and New Year, but I'm sure halfway through next week I'll feel it was very much worth it. So all
Yes,
good. Thank
definitely,
you.
mate. Can't
Oi,
wait.
oi.
Can't wait.
There we go. And making his return after 2 weeks to destroy any hopes of Sam's locks on a bet or coming in is Kemp. Welcome back, Kemp.
Is he a law?
He's
The man
back.
with the mic. Ho, the man with the mic. Hey, hey, I want to
Here we go.
wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my car.
Nice.
You all right, Aggie?
I'm very good,
Fantastic.
thank you. Mate, yourself?
Yeah, living every part of my dream. It's Christmas, baby.
He's back with a bang. He's back with a
He
bang.
is. He's
Oh,
back with a bang. It's
baby.
best one yet, that.
There we go. You all seem in a very good mood and nice spirits, which is good because it is Christmas. As well as that, we've all been asked to get a drink together to have a drink whilst enjoying discussing the Premier League and the Week 16 of the NFL. So, Sam, we'll start with yourself. What drink have you chosen today?
Can you hear the little rattling of the ice? That is my terrific rum and cola. Plenty of ice. And
Ooh.
shout out to my man Dawson because it's what he bought me for my birthday back in March. Peaky
Oh,
Blinder rum.
You're
There
the
is-
peaky.
I'm on the peaky.
Before we
mate.
move
There
on
was-
to anybody else's drinks, and that sounds beautiful, Sam. Me and you love a rum and coke. It's our tipple. Has
Yeah, I'm gonna
anybody
fuck myself.
made drinks with friends on a podcast sound any more formal than Adam's just made it sound?
Honestly,
We've all been
we
asked
are-
to bring together a presentation and drinks for the podcast.
It's like we're at fucking book club, isn't
Sam, what have you gone with?
Exhibit A. It's not the PowerPoint.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
power.
a-
Next
it's
slide,
a,
please.
Bless him. He'll never change, will he? It's a Peaky Blinder rum, as I say. Ben Dawson got him a full name shout out for my
Who's
birthday, and I
Ben?
don't really drink a lot in the house, to be honest. So it's been hanging about since March. There were a little bit of bottle left, and I thought, you know what, tonight's the night. I'll celebrate with the boys, and let's bring in some Christmas.
Yeah, got that cola in there, and then that peaky just brings that slight hint of vanilla through it. Yeah,
yes.
it's beautiful tipple. So anyone out there that likes a bit of rum, can't recommend it enough. Usually about 20-25 quid off Amazon.
Please drink responsibly.
Please drink responsibly, and other retailers are available for your rums and other alcoholic beverages. But yeah, it's a lovely little drink. That.
Nice, excellent choice. Skin, what have you gone for?
Well, I mentioned to Sam before the podcast that he'll be impressed with this and he'll be happy. But I've gone with a beer. I did think
Intrigued.
I did think with a rum myself, but I thought I'm just gonna have a beer. It's a bit of a rush between working this, so didn't really have time. So I've got a Kolsch, the red label Kolsch as
Ah,
well.
Is
The
it?
red label Kolsch, yes, the Fru
Bruh,
Kolsch.
for a
yeah,
Kolsch, that's my absolute favourite. Oh my
Yes,
god,
mate.
what
I
a
knew you'd
lager
be
that is.
impressed. So yeah, I was in Morrison's on dinner, and I thought, well, I'm here. I'll get a couple of beers, and I saw it on the shelf. So
Didn't know they sold it in Morrison's. Wow.
Neither did I till I saw it. So I'm
Shout
like,
out
I'm all over that.
Morrison's.
Me and Sam had a lovely weekend in Germany a few years back with some of the boys, and spent most of it drinking this absolutely beautiful beer that is known as Kolsch. So yeah, don't tend to see it much over here. The blue label one anyway. But yeah, very happy to see that. So I'm halfway
Mm.
down a bottle of that, and it is going down wonderfully, as you can imagine.
Great find.
Nice. Kemp?
Fortunately, it's not as adventurous as these two boys. I've just got a nice bottle of Amstel, and it's the last beer I've got before my Christmas stash, which is a nice big crate of Staropramen.
Ooh.
So looking
Oh.
forward to cracking
Head
that one
wrecking
open.
stuff.
Oh, it's beautiful. But yeah, we're at the end of the Amstel, and we're just about to go into the Staropram. And so yes, it's a nice Christmas tipple for a nice Christmas podcast.
Come on in, I give you a little spirit connoisseur. Let's have what you're
Oh,
having.
you've stole my word as well. I was looking forward to using that word. I've gone for whiskey as typical
Still
of
saying,
myself.
mate, it's not like a lock of the week.
What is your
Very
word lock of the week? I'm
true.
going to go for connoisseur.
Very
You
true.
fucking prick, I had that.
As long as they don't go for plethora, we're all right.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you want me moist.
Oh, you've done.
What type of whiskey have you gone for?
I have gone with Johnny Walker Black Label as
Okay.
requested by
Traditional.
Tina. I asked him for a recommendation, and he went with Johnny Walker Black Label. I'm really enjoying it. So
Shout out to
Fair
Tina.
enough. Shout out to Tina. Well done, mate.
yeah, it's
He don't
12-year-old
fuck about with
whiskey,
his
so I'm quite happy.
recommendations for food or alcohol, as we mentioned
Absolutely
in previous
not.
podcasts. That man is
Absolutely
normally
not.
on point with things.
Yeah, it was
Always.
a very good shout as well. So that's what I'm drinking at the moment. I'm currently 3 glasses in, so when I start making errors in about 20 seconds' time, you know exactly why. Right, we will.
Won't make any normal change, to be fair. So
Yeah.
It won't make no.
We'll-
I just
we'll
put
not
mine
notice.
out, don't I? Right, we'll start by talking about the return of the Premier League season. A conversation that we had
Here
just
we
before
go.
the season stopped was Arsenal or Man City to win the Premier League. Sam, I'm going to come to you first, simply because when we had this discussion, I don't believe you was.
Yeah, you could be right there, you know.
You were
Yeah,
right.
he
I
weren't-
think
he
it
thought he
was
weren't.
season would just coming to a close, mid-season break for the old World Cup. I still feel like we should have a moment's silence for World Cup, to be honest, because
Oh.
that took a good month of our time, just up until Christmas, didn't it? It were cracking.
You know, every single day, sort of mid morning, I'm missing that 10
Yeah.
a.m. game every morning.
As soon as group
I've not
stage
got
was
over
finished.
it. I've not got over it since group stages have ended. That 10 a.m.
No.
game is absolutely sensual. I
And they're
want it back.
flicking ITV over, going
I
through
was going to say
Lorraine
flicking
and
me then.
Oh, baby.
It's not
through.
flicking me while watching Lorraine.
Fucking, I was going to say I wish Lorraine would flick it me, then, but I realised that's my man, so that's not.
True to form.
Oh, Merry Christmas,
Oh,
Rob.
Christ.
Jesus
yeah, well done,
Christ.
Rob.
Merry Christmas, Dad. So, yeah, back to Premier League then. What were the question?
Arsenal or Man City, I think.
It was.
Arsenal or Man City? Yes, the title race. Right. So just looking at I mean, you got to look at Newcastle there. 2 points behind Man City. Come on, the boys. You know what? I'm gonna stick my neck out here, and I'm
Do
gonna
it.
say Arsenal they're gonna hold form and they're gonna go in and win it. That's my
Wow.
Christmas prediction. City have had a hell of a lot of players playing in that World Cup that's just gone compared to Arsenal. I know Arsenal have had a few, but City have had. I think City United were most in Prem, and I think that might take a toll come April, May time when the crunch. I think Arsenal might just be a little bit fresher. They've only lost one all season, and I think they might just have a bit too much for them.
Got a 5-point lead as well. I remember saying that I thought Arsenal were going to
Yeah.
stick by it. I honestly think this is going to be Arsenal's year. They've got a game in hand over Newcastle, and as far as I'm concerned, even if Newcastle, even if Man City lose that game in hand that they've got as well in second place, I still think it's just going to be a 2-horse race. I don't think Newcastle are quite going to have enough about them to compete, but I think Arsenal are just going to have that little bit more. 5 points.
What
clear at
about
the moment.
Spurs? A point below them.
No, I see. I don't see Spurs as title contenders. I think they're still some way off, and I know that sounds bad because they're in 4th place and they are realistically within.
Doesn't
within a
sound bad,
shout,
mate.
but-
Really, we all know Spurs are bottle jobs, aren't they? So I think you're well within your right to say
I
that.
think anybody who says anybody but City and Arsenal are title contenders, then
Yeah,
you need
I
to
was
look
playing
at
devil's
yourselves, really.
advocate, really.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
I think
Right to do so.
that they're quite far ahead of some of the other sides. Liverpool appear to have dropped off completely. They're out of the Premier League running, and I don't know exactly what's happened to them over this last 4 or 5 months from what they were like over the last couple of years. So for me, I just think Arsenal are just a cut above at the moment. I think the big game's going to be Arsenal against Man City. I think that's like 3rd from final game of the season, something like that. And I think
4-pointer.
yeah, and I
6
think
points. That's what they're saying. That's the term.
6-pointer. Yeah, 'cause I think
4-pointer.
Arsenal have. I think Arsenal have already
Big
beaten this season.
4-pointer.
6 pointers at bottom of the table, innit? So 4 points must be
Crucial,
when it sits
crucial
up.
4-pointer. No, 4 pointers for Champions League.
Yeah, it's the first slip up at night, innit? I've had a cab.
Critical 2-pointer for the title.
Many more of them to come.
I'm standing by Arsenal. Kemp, I know you before we went into the World Cup, you said
Yes, my
Manchester
darling.
City. Are you still fully behind that?
Even more so, sweetie.
Ooh, okay.
Even more so. Gabriel Jesus is out until late February 2023. And even though he's not scored as many since the first few weeks of the season when he was on a bit of a rampage. He's vital for setting goals up and being really involved. So I think they're going to miss Gabriel Jesus quite a lot. And like I say, he's out until at least late February by the looks of things. They've also got Tomiyasu, who's out, for another month or so. So while they might not have lost a lot of players through injury, and they might still have quite a few players sort of fresh because they didn't have as many at the World Cup as other teams, I think they've lost two crucial pieces of the puzzle there. So I think they're going to fall away. I still think they'll finish comfortably top four, maybe even second. But my opinion is still Manchester City. It's not changed all season, and it hasn't changed now.
Just on your point, just to let you know that City's next couple of games are as followed. They've got they've got Leeds United away next, just after Christmas. Then they've got Everton. Then it's Chelsea. Then it's United. Then it's Tottenham. Then it's Wolves, and then it's Spurs. So they have from now until about early February.
The only team
they've got
in
tough
there.
running.
No, not for me. The only team in there that worries me as if I was a Chelsea fan would be the Man United game. I think every
Chelsea
other
fan?
game.
Why would it worry you as a Chelsea fan?
City fan.
Spurs don't worry me.
He's not having it.
He's not
It's just
listening.
papered over that one.
Do you mean worry if you're a
So
City
just carry
fan?
on then.
Yeah, maybe. I'm tired. Yeah,
Right,
if I'm a
that
City
makes no
fan,
sense.
I'm not worried. I'm only worried about the Man United game. I'm not worried about anything else.
It's a tough run in that.
And even then, they beat Man United 6-3, didn't they? So how worried are they going to be going into that? Chelsea aren't there, are they? By any means, by any means. Tottenham, I don't know. They've not looked impressive this season. They've grinded out results, but they've not been as good as I thought they were going to be. So yeah, if I'm a City fan, there's only one worry there for me, and it's Manchester United. And again, they beat them 6-3. So you've got to play everybody twice, haven't you? It's going to come to Arsenal at some point.
What are your
Fair
thoughts on
enough.
the potential of in January some signings being made? Because yes, they've only really got Jesus as an out-and-out striker. Is there any harm in them maybe putting some money? This is a great opportunity to put some money into getting another striker that for the next month and a half could get the starting role, and then when Jesus is back, compete with him.
I think it's a wise idea. I just don't think it'll happen. I think they've spent a lot of money in the summers of previous seasons, Arsenal, but in January I don't think they've splashed the cash as much from what I can sort of remember and gather. And they're at the top of the league, so if they don't splash the cash in January, then I don't think anybody's going to sort of kick off too badly, because again, they're at the top of the league, so they're in a good strong position. It's not as if they're chasing.
Yeah.
So I think, as you say, Adam, for the next month, I think they're going to just.
I don't think it's.
Suck it and see.
I don't think it's that good idea myself, to be honest. I think it's quite short-sighted. We've all seen what getting emergency strikers does. United with Ighalo. It just stinks of desperation. They're at top. They've got a good team. How many years have they finally took to get this team to settle? I just think adding just someone for
They need someone else,
fix.
though. Don't they? Need someone else anyway, though, don't they? Do you not think they need somebody else to back Jesus up, and it doesn't need to be a quick fix?
How many quality strikers are always available in January?
When you're top of the league, more
and you
than
make
you'd
a good
think.
point, and they're gonna, if they do get somebody in, they are going to be paying over the odds for whoever that top striker is. So that's again why I don't think they'll do it. But if they can find a striker that's going to quite comfortably sit behind Jesus and maybe give him a few problems up there and not spend that much money on him, then I think it's a good idea, because they need a backup for Jesus regardless. It's not just short term, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Skin.
I'll go back to Kemp's original point, really. I've said City from the start of the season, not the most enlightening or outrageous of picks in itself. But as I said, in the weeks leading up to the Christmas break, it would come down to squad depth. Manchester City's is pretty phenomenal. They've almost got a full second team that they could put out to compete for the title. Arsenal, very strong, but I do worry about once they start getting 2 or 3 injuries to that starting 11/13, 14 of main players. And we're going to see that now with Jesus getting injured. So, yeah, I still see City being the title winners come May, despite them being 5 points behind. And I think it'll be pushing double figures, to be honest, that lead. I do think City will ramp away with it and Arsenal will fall off. So,
Wow.
yeah, that's where my head is at the minute. There's no reason to change it because they've not played for a month.
No, you make very good points, both of you do, to be fair. But I'm going to stand by what I said with Arsenal. No Premier League games take place until Boxing Day, which means all of our locks need to have concluded by, or should I say, the only Premier League game we can't go for on Boxing Day is the 8 o'clock kickoff between Arsenal and West Ham. So let's get things kicked off with the locks of the week for this week.
We're going straight in. Let's go.
Going bareback.
I did spin the wheel a little bit earlier. I did actually do it this time as well. And the first name out was Skin. So Skin, we're going to go to you first.
Come on then. So my lock of the week, seeing as I get the first pick, is Notts County at home to Oldham in the National League on Boxing Day, 3 p.m. Notts County have been a popular...
You fucking shitbag.
Sorry, mate. Notts County have been a popular pick in the loaded sport world, and for good reason. They currently sit top of the National League by 4 points over Wrexham, albeit with Wrexham with a game in hand, but their home form has been absolutely phenomenal. They've won 4 out of the last 5 games. They've not lost for a long time, since mid-October, so well over 2 months. And I've got no reason to go against them this weekend. They're top of the table, as I say. Oldham are currently in the relegation zone. Notts County's home form, they've got 22 goals in 11 games, so they're averaging 2 goals a game. They've only conceded 4 goals all season at home. And Oldham away are the worst, Oldham are the worst away team in the National League, with only 4 points from their 11 away games this season. So I've absolutely no reason, like I say, to pick anything else this weekend. So yeah, my lock of the week is Notts County.
Nice one. Up next was Kemp.
Marvellous. Well, I'm having to default to my second choice.
I know what it's going to be. I can bet you any money I could get.
Okay.
Is
okay.
It?
All right. Okay.
Can I take a shot?
Yeah, of course you can.
Because I don't want to say you say it and I go,
no, absolutely. Take a shot.
Can I say that your second pick is going to be Wrexham?
No, you're incorrect.
Oh, you like Wrexham. You've liked them in the past.
I have liked Wrexham in the past, but I like Sheffield United a little bit more.
Okay.
Home against Coventry, last few weeks, we've ground out results when we've not been playing particularly well. But I think with this McBurney stuff behind us, he's looking as though he's getting back to full fitness now. And obviously the court case is now settled in the sense that he's been acquitted, which is great. So I think we'll do Coventry quite comfortably. I don't think they're doing too well this season, and they're doing eighth. They're doing eighth, so they're doing okay. But I think they're in recent times they've been quite unsettled these last few weeks. I think off the pitch especially, with the news that your mate Mark Ashley's bought their stadium and he's not letting them play in it at some point soon. So yeah, I think we're going to win. I think we'll win and we'll get it over the line. So that'll be my lock of the week for this week.
Nice one, Sam.
Are you not? Are you putting yourself last, Aggie, just because you've done wheel, or are you like?
I am not. The wheel put me last, which means
fine.
I'm first for the scorers because we're doing that snake format, aren't we? So it'll go back to me.
Yeah, that's fair, mate. That's fair.
Lock of the week this week, I'm going for 7th place Preston at home to beat 24th placed Huddersfield. Nice. Huddersfield just haven't got going at all this season. Preston, I mean, I think they have a bit of a bad patch, Preston, and I'm counting on them to bounce back this week. I think they have won 1 in the last 3, so it is a bit of a riskier lock than you'd normally see. But I'm going to go for Preston at home to Huddersfield.
I like.
Do you know what with Huddersfield? Because I went to watch Sheffield United a couple of weeks ago against Huddersfield, and a couple of weeks ago last week, and what surprised me about Huddersfield is that they were very, very defensively resolute. We struggled to break them down a lot of the time, and they look pretty good. And we only managed to squeak out a 1-0 win against them. So I am surprised they're in the position that they're in one sense, but in another sense, we could have played till following Tuesday and they wouldn't have scored a goal. Yeah. So I think having Huddersfield to definitely lose is a safe bet, but Preston to win, I like it, but I would worry because Huddersfield are quite strong. But I'm going to contradict myself when it comes to scorers. Carry on.
Yeah, well, Huddersfield, they've only won 1 in the last 5, and I think Preston have won 3 out of the last 5. So I'm just going on current form at the minute.
Yes, I think it's a good pick, mate.
Oh, you're right to do so, and it's a decent pick. I just think the surprise for me about Huddersfield, when you look at teams at the bottom of the league, you expect them to be shipping loads of goals and not being able to score any goals. But that's what surprised me about Huddersfield, just sort of as a side note more than anything, that they defended really well. And I was surprised to see that they did do that when they are, like I say, adrift a little bit at the bottom of the league or at the bottom, near the bottom of the table.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I'm going to go with League One leaders Plymouth to beat 17th placed Cheltenham. Plymouth have gone back to the top of the league. I think it was last weekend, and they've lost just 1 in their last 7 games in all competitions, and they've won their last 3 on the bounce. So I highly expect them to beat Cheltenham.
Skin is gone away. They're away.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of what I've gone for is away, to be fair. So I apologise, Skin and Sam as well.
Smart Sam, to be fair, he's got the money riding on it, but he let himself down last week, so you can't blame anyone.
Neither of you really like the away games. I did have Liverpool to beat Villa, but for some reason in the Premier League, it just feels to me like it's a complete, almost it's a new season.
It's one of them, isn't it? I looked at Arsenal and United before realising when they were kicking off, and then it's like, yeah, give it a week or two, I think, before we start considering the Prem teams after the break. But no, I get that.
So I'm now going to contradict that and go with my scorer lock, which I've actually got 3 written down, and I'm going to go with Mitrovic for Fulham.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Against Crystal Palace.
Nice.
I think that's the safe bet that I'm going to go for. Apologies, Sam,
9
but
goals.
It's over to you now, mate, to take you back up.
9 goals already this season. I think that's a good bet. That I'm gonna have to go for my backup then, which is Ivan Toney on the back of.
Nice.
The back of all the
against Spurs, yeah.
Yeah. Early kick-off.
It's good that you're backing him because he will definitely be backing himself.
I think with all the controversy around him, I think he's going to come out with a bit of a chip on his shoulder, a point to prove. I think he will score, and he is eligible to play as well. I did check that.
Nice. Kemp.
Hello. I'm going to contradict myself from what I've just said to Sam about Huddersfield being defensively resolute, and I'm going to have my scorer as Chedwin Evans. He's Preston's top scorer this season so far, and again, he's probably the most likely that I've seen that's going to score for my lock scorer. So I'm going to go Big Ched Evans, the former Blade, to get a goal against the defensively resolute Huddersfield Town.
Nice one, Skin.
Well, thankfully, despite going last on these scorers, my first choice pick is still there, as well as my backup had that player gone. But I'm going to stick in the National League. I'm going to stick with Notts County, and I'm going to go for the loaded sport favourite that is Macaulay Langstaff, current top scorer in the National League. We've spoke a lot about whether he might end up moving to a league club in this upcoming transfer window, but for now, he is still there. For now, he has scored 21 goals in 23 games for Notts County, and he loves scoring at home. So I have no reason to change that, seeing as he is still there. So yeah, Macaulay Langstaff for me is my scorer of the week.
Out of interest, who was your backup?
It was the person that I had a feeling Kent might go for, and it was Paul Mullen of Wrexham. Because they are at home this weekend. Yeah, and as we know,
I'm sick of backing Wrexham because they always let me down when I do. So
yeah, because you always back them when they're away, but never when they're at home. They've played 10 games at home this season. They've won every single one of them.
And the thing is, for me, you can tell I've not got money riding on it because when I'm betting, I will never touch an away team in a month of Sundays. And maybe I should start betting on it, and then I might start, being a bit more invested.
Racecourse Fortress.
But yeah, Langstaff for me.
Lancaster.
Okay.
Yeah, I nearly said that. Colshire's hitting brain now, isn't it? It's going down well.
There we go.
What do you
get? Skin will stick with you for the wild card then.
Oh, right. So I mentioned in the Loaded Sport group chat earlier in the week that I've got a bit of an interesting one. So I'm going to mix it up slightly for the wild card, lads. So let me know if this is eligible. But I don't like it already.
He's going to go for a point again.
I do think that this is okay. So. Aggie, you picked Plymouth as your lock of the week, correct?
Correct.
So as Aggie mentioned, they are currently top in League One, and Ipswich are just behind them in second place. So my wild card for this weekend, if you will both allow me, is for first place Plymouth and second place Ipswich to both fail to get the win in their games on Monday afternoon.
What do you reckon, boys?
Neither of the top two teams to win.
Yeah.
I didn't want to just say one, so I thought if I go a wild card, if I go both.
So just for reference, Plymouth are away at Cheltenham, and Ipswich are at home to Oxford.
Yeah.
And you're just saying they're not going to win either.
Neither of them.
So even if it's a draw, you're golden.
Okay, because it's a double. Because it's a double.
Because it's a double.
If it was one of them, I'd probably say not.
You're not getting
Well,
double points
it's
for it,
double
though, is he?
jeopardy.
No, it's just 1 point. It's
Right.
either 0 points or 1 point if they both fail to win. But
Okay.
I thought you're right. If I'd have just said 1 to draw, like that's fine. But I thought
Yeah.
both first and second in the table, neither of them to get 3 points this week, and I thought that should be enough because that's a pretty
That's fair
wild card
enough.
bet. I thought.
Okay.
Kemp.
A little bit more straightforward from my perspective. I'm going to have Aston Villa beating Liverpool.
That was one of mine.
Yeah, I think Villa have really bounced since Stevie G got the boot. And I think Liverpool, as Adam said earlier, just can't seem to find their stride. And a few of their players have featured at the World Cup. Probably not as many as other teams, but I think they're going to get the win. Although Emi Martinez not being in goal for Villa slightly concerns me. But
I was just about to say, will we see the return of the king, Emi Martinez?
He's still off his head.
We won't. He's still
He's still shagging
and
glove.
will be on Boxing Day. Yeah. So yeah, he's out, but I still think Villa are going to win.
There we go. Over to you, Sam.
Right. So I think this wild card's going to shake up some feathers in here because
Let's have it.
There was an audible gasp from myself, and I think I said, really, when Kemp come out with Coventry, I'm not doing too well this year. I'm actually backing Coventry to beat Sheffield United.
Ooh,
That's
break
my
it down.
that's my wild card. So Coventry unbeaten at home in the last 5, and I have just got a sneaky feeling that Sheffield United might just take the foot off the gas slightly, and I'm backing Coventry.
Nice.
Need a win. I think a win will take them into the playoffs as well. So, yeah, and they've got a game in hand on Preston. So, I'm going to back Coventry there.
Yeah, you got more confident as you were explaining then.
It's because I'm just looking at table as I'm like, didn't see game in hand. I'm backing Coventry to beat Sheffield United. I think Kemp's right. There has been a lot of turbulence with the Mike Ashley thing in the background, the stadium, but on the pitch they've been a revelation, to be fair.
They have to be fair,
considering what they've had to deal with.
No, they have to be fair, and I think I was a bit harsh by saying they'd not pulled up any trees, sort of thing, because I think they've been doing pretty well under the circumstances. But I think the last couple of weeks, the added turbulence and the fact that we've been able to grind out games is the reason that I backed it. But again, I sort of can't disagree. Really, I think it's something that could definitely happen. So that's why it's a wild card.
I think the beat your boys, and all. I'm just looking at results. The beat your boys 1-0 in Coventry on the 19th of October. So
not a Bramall Lane though, is it, baby? Fortress.
Not too long ago. Yeah, you're right.
Beautiful downtown Bramall Lane.
You're right. It is a bit of a difference maker, but that's my that's the reason why it's a wild card.
I like it.
I've gone with, despite saying that I'm trying to stay away from the Premier League, Brentford to beat Spurs.
Nice.
I think with Spurs having quite a few players away at the World Cup, Brentford have had a lot of time to kind of recoup and get themselves ready to go again. They're a side that are knocking on the door of breaking into Europe, and I think at the moment, why not? Breaking into the top 7.
Like armed robbery?
No, they shouldn't be there, but they're going to be there, sort of breaking, and they're going to get into the top 7. I think by the end of the season, I'd probably say they're going to finish top 7. But to do that, they've got to beat sides like Spurs, and I think they're going to do it.
Why not? Why bloody not?
That's the wild card I'm going for.
That's football picks of the week. I like it. That's some good stuff in there.
There we go. We'll be back in just a few moments to discuss Week 16 of the NFL season. Welcome back to episode 15 of Loaded Sport, where we're now going to
come and get your sexy daily.
Where we're now going to preview. Fuck off, Sam. Preview the weekend and week 16 of the NFL season.
Why is it the NFL every time? You can't handle it.
It's just you guys, isn't it? It's just we just turned to unprofessionalism for the NFL section, don't we? Joining me to go.
This is like Loaded Sport after dark, isn't it? Like this is Watershed's gone.
Like lamp lovers.
Yeah. Oh, mate, lamp lovers. There's a throwback for anyone that's still with us in the lamp lovers on Facebook. Oh my god.
I don't know where that's popped from.
Just drop it in chat and tag Liam because he'll pop big for that.
Shout out Liam, the pervert.
Anyway, Adam, we're not talking about lovely nudes with lamps in the background. We're here to talk about NFL. So come on.
There we go. Week 16 of the NFL season. Joining me to go through it is Sam and Skin. Kemp has had to leave the call, so the three of us are going to power on to discuss for most people, the playoffs of fantasy football. But there's plenty of.
Playoffs? No one talking about playoffs.
You wouldn't know, mate. You're never there.
I'll fucking make Super Bowl last year, come against you.
Yeah, no, who won that?
Current playoffs, you dunce.
Hey, it's me against Aggie at Work League this weekend, semi-finals.
Is it?
Only a 14 playoff, yeah. As it stands, if you can just bear with me, well, I'll fill a little
I'm
bit
set
of
to
noise.
win.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm beating him.
Adam is currently projected. Oh no, I'm projected to win now. Aggie.
Oh
You made
shit!
any
What
changes?
happened?
So
Who
one of
blamed you?
projections must have dropped a little bit. Yeah, as it
Still
stands,
panic in his voice, saying, "Oh shit!" Like
Yeah,
it's life or
he's-
death.
Mate,
Honestly-
he's like lost 3 games this season. I've only won about that.
Yeah, he's desperate to beat me this weekend. But as it stands, projection is me 120.73, Aggie 120.24. So it's going to be tight.
it's not that big of a
Just off
drop.
the top of my head, there, you must have a shit league. If your players are projecting 120s, you must have both stacked rosters, which means the league is shit you're
It's
in.
PPR.
My team is absolutely.
Oh,
not
is it?
stacked.
Oh,
Yeah, it's PPR.
I'll crawl back in my hole.
There we go.
Oh.
So yes, let's start by talking about our sides and the games that they're taking part in. Christmas Eve, 6 o'clock red zone.
Oh, Saturday red zone, lads.
Mate,
No.
this is why it's best time of year, isn't it? There's just sport being thrown at you left,
Yeah.
right, centre at weird, kinky hours.
Oh, yes.
Love that. The Chiefs against the Seahawks is the game that I get the luxury of talking about as a Seahawks fan. I don't really
boy.
want to talk too much about it because I know where it's going to go. The Chiefs are going to absolutely destroy us. We're falling off the perch completely. We had a very good start to the season. We surprised a lot of people, and we're now in a position where we're falling further and further
been
away
found
from
out.
playoff contention. We've been found
Lost
out.
4 out of last 5, Aggie. What's happening?
Yeah, Gino's not performing to the same standard as he was before. I'm not sure whether that's
Surprising, that.
just
Was
one of them
is
things.
a very quick question that doesn't necessarily require too much of a detailed answer, but has Gino been found out, or have people realised they need to be just a bit switched on against him? It was a bit of complacency from teams, maybe because Russ had left. It looks like there were a bit of turmoil. Seahawks capitalised on that. And Gino, fair play to him, did play well, but has he been found out, or is it just right? I think we need to take these boys a little bit seriously where we necessarily weren't before.
I think he's throwing passes that he doesn't need to pass. He's thrown plenty of interceptions over the last couple of weeks, whereas beginning of the season he'd have probably taken the sack and allowed us
Didn't
to
turn
punch
ball
it
over,
and
did he?
trusted,
At all at start.
exactly,
Yeah,
and
he did
trusted the
well.
defense. Now he's just throwing it for the sake of throwing it, and it's going to the wrong
That's
teams.
the
Now
old Geno Smith. This is why we were all concerned going into the season and very surprised when he kicked off, and you were quite happy to stick with him. But this is exactly why we've seen plenty of this from him before.
well, I stand by the fact that at the moment I think we've got the number 3 pick from the Broncos. If it gets to us, for me, we've got to take a quarterback, but there's a lot to look into that. There's still a couple of weeks left of the season before we find out who's got what picks. Tyler Lockett's now out. He's broke his finger, so he's not going to be playing. We've got loads of issues to look at defensively. We're just poor. And then to go up against the Chiefs, it's not like we're going against a side that's struggling. We're going against the Chiefs that are preparing themselves for winning the AFC entirely. So to me, there's only going to be one winner in that game. And unfortunately, it's not going to be the Seahawks.
There's some sweet irony in that, isn't there? In the fact that you're getting the 3rd overall pick from the Broncos. It's taken your old quarterback to make them that bad for you to sort out your potential future in a quarterback position.
Yeah, there's some sweet irony in there. isn't
Sweet,
there?
yeah, that's the one. Sweet irony, some kind of paradox there. That's just, yeah.
There's still some that-
you always get it in NFL.
There's still some on social media that work within, like on Seahawks podcasts and within media in Seattle, that think that we're going to be trading back and not taking a quarterback and sticking with Gino for longer. There's been rumours about
Nah, surely
the
not.
potential
Yeah,
of offering him a longer
we said
contract.
it last week, didn't they? Like, take a quarterback and sit behind Gino. Like, you don't need to. If you take a quarterback, you don't need to start him. But what an
It's going to
opportunity
be
that is.
it's going to be a tasty quarterback draft. Deep, very fucking deep.
I mean, with us having 2,
Oh.
if we don't make the playoffs now, which is looking unlikely that we're going to with the way that we're performing and the rest of the games
Yeah.
that we've got to see out the season,
Slipping away.
why not just
Yeah, it's gone.
get that higher pick for ourselves, as well as obviously the Broncos pick? Why not maybe get 2 in, what is it, the top 16, 17? Is it something like that we could
Yeah.
get? Why not get 2 in the top 17? There's a couple. I mean, we've looked at a couple of linebackers there, cornerbacks as well to help strengthen defensively. And if we can take a quarterback quite high, why not?
I mean, we are being incredibly negative. They're 7-7. They're like the
It's-
best non-playoff team in the NFC at the minute. So there's a massive chance for them to still make it.
There is, but have you seen our schedule to see out
Haven't.
the season? We've got the Chiefs, then we've got the Jets, then we've got the Rams. So the Rams, yeah, that's a winnable game.
Yeah,
The
Rams
Chiefs
should beat
probably
them.
going to lose to the Jets. I'm not overly
You'll
confident,
lose to them.
but we could maybe cause a bit of an upset. The Rams.
Don't forget
again,
that
we
they
should
were
beat.
6-3 as well. And now they're 7-7. So
Yeah, they're not performing great themselves, but again, we've also got to then hope that results are going our way from the Commanders or the Giants, whichever one of them two wants to slip up, which at the moment looks like being the Commanders. So, yeah, plenty to look at as the potential of getting into the playoffs, but I really don't see it myself. Hope I'm wrong, but doubt I will be.
I was just having a
What's,
quick glance at your division there. Did you know the Cardinals have won one game at home all year? They're
Yeah,
they're
they're
1-7. 1-7 at home. 3-3 on the road, not too bad, but 1-7 at home is a joke.
yeah, you're never going to be a playoff team with that record, are you?
No.
They've really struggled this season, and thankfully, it leaves us in a good position to be pushing for the playoffs. It's just the Niners are too good. That's simply it for our division.
Yeah, I agree.
But-
Come on
but-
in,
but
Aki,
they'll-
give it a
they'll
score
win it.
prediction.
I'm not giving you a score prediction. We're going to lose to the Chiefs.
By how much?
That's it. By all right, fucking hell.
Give us scores. Talk score wise. How many scores? 1 score, 2 score.
1 million scores.
28-7.
Oh, so you literally give
Oh,
us the
well,
actual
well,
score.
yeah, we'll take score then. Sweet.
28
That didn't take
Chiefs.
much, did it?
There we go.
Never have I known someone to give in to peer pressure after someone has
like
give up on
5
trying to get
seconds.
something out of them.
I was
we'll
thinking
leave it
about
then.
a
Oh, well,
score
no,
at
I'll
the
give you the
time.
score.
No, I'll give
What's
you
the
the
score you wanted?
28-7. I think the Chiefs are going to win.
That's going to be a rough game.
Afraid so. Over to you then for the Patriots game.
Going to me now, are we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Christmas Eve, 6:00, New England Patriots host Cincinnati Bengals, the in-form AFC team. And I am not looking forward to it. Bengals are in sensational form. Beat the Bucs last weekend with that 17-point comeback. Patriots have lost 3 out of the last 4 off the back of that, as we discussed in the review show. Yeah, I still don't know how to describe that last play against Raiders to lose the game. And yeah, I am not really looking forward to this. I don't think it'll be a blowout. Bengals will win or should win at least. We can never say for certain, but yeah, Joey Burrow, 31 touchdowns this season, Mac Jones, 7. Yeah, I'll go Bengals by 2 touchdowns, but it won't be a massively scoring game. We'll go like 28-14, something like that, or 21-7.
What do you think of Mac Jones's development? I'm joking. I ask that every week.
It just gets
Age
more
gonna rev it
upsetting
up
ever. Yeah, I fucking told you 3 times. Yeah. Bengals win by 2 scores. I say I'm not looking forward to it.
Okay, on to Christmas Day
Oh,
football.
luxury.
What a day. Christmas
It's,
Day, 6 p.m. Picture this. So I've just had a couple of hours prior, I've had my Christmas dinner. I've been in seeing the family, done the rounds.
Yeah.
I get home, maybe about 5 o'clock. Got a nice tub of celebrations sat outside of me, a nice glass of port in the hand.
What celebration are you going for first?
Oh, Maltesers, mate. Every single day of the week.
Good shout.
Malteser.
Good shout. Yeah.
And then just flick on. I don't know if it's on Sky Sports. I imagine it will be probably only game.
Yeah, it
day
will
at
be.
that
It's
time, won't
only
it?
game, yeah.
Yep. So flick Sky Sports on, and unfortunately listen to Neil Reynolds. But there we go. It's Packers Dolphins in Miami, and I think it's going to be a cracker. Both teams can't really afford to lose it. Dolphins, I know they're in 8-6, decent record, but they've lost the last 3 in games that they could have really won. I think they played It was in California, weren't they? I think they beat the Lions, but then they lost. I'm scrambling here. They lost to the Bills in a close game, which fair enough.
Was
But
very
then they
close.
lost to the Chargers as well, which was a bit odd. And then they lost to the Niners as well. I just think, I think I've got a funny feeling we might do them. I know we're
Yeah.
going to it as underdogs, but Rodgers doesn't travel well to Florida. But yeah, I think it'll be a cracking game, and I can't wait for it. Christmas Day, bring it on.
I suppose the important question, sorry to jump in, Aggie, because I know you're the man with the questions, but does Katie know yet that there's a Christmas Day 6 o'clock kickoff and
She
Packers are
does.
playing it?
Bless
Okay.
her. Bless her, she does. She,
That's good then.
I broached it quite gingerly, let's say. And I says, we're on at 6. We're on at 6, don't you? At Christmas Day. And she's like, oh, right, okay. Well, it's your Christmas Day as much as anyone else's. So you do your own. So she's going to stay at her mum and dad's for a bit while game's on. And I'm going to, because we'll both be at mum and dad's. I'll come back early, watch game. Then I'll let her know when game's done, and she'll come back over. So yeah.
Like it, mate. Like it. But yeah, Miami lost their last 3 games, as you mentioned, to fairly strong sides. Give them some credit. They've not had a sort of surprise loss of sorts, but it's the right time to be playing them into going 8-3 to 8-6. So yeah, and Packers won their last 2 as well. So
Packers are in playoff mode now. It's literally win every single game, or your seasons are done. 1 loss out of the last 3, and it's over. So yeah, I think Rodgers has been in this situation before, and I think he'll get it done myself. But we'll see.
Think you'll get in playoffs?
So, no, I'm talking
right,
about
you mean against
get
Miami?
one game at a time. One game at a time. Yeah.
Okay. There we go then.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the discussion about each of our teams. Packers playing Christmas Day, Seahawks and Patriots playing on Christmas Eve. So let's move on to the locks of the week for the
Let's
NFL.
do it.
We'll follow the same order as we went through last time. So we'll start, Skin, with yourself.
Oh, I weren't sure if we'd mix it if you'd done 2 separate draws, but
I've not, but I can do that for next
why
time.
not? Keep on.
No, that's fine, mate. It's fine. I will take my first choice pick then, which is the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Seahawks, as we've just discussed. As we know, the lock of the week, the definition of it is the team that you are most confident in winning.
Put your life on. Put your life on, mate.
Of winning at that certain point. I've been very successful in my locks since we started doing this. Kansas City 11-3, flying in form, everything that Aggie's just said. So yeah, Kansas City have got to be my lock this week if I get first choice.
Yeah, do not blame you at all. Sam?
I'm not going to waffle on too much about this pick because I think it speaks for itself. I'm taking the Bills to beat the Bears. 11-3 versus 3-11. Enough said.
I did have that, which means now I've got to go on to my second one, which is the Bucks to beat the Cards on Sunday night.
They were my
football.
backup. They were my second choice.
If the Bucks don't,
Bucks
don't win out, whoever wins the NFC South will win it with a losing record.
Yeah, that's correct.
Just to put that into perspective of how bad the NFC South is. The Bucks have been struggling on offense for a while, but the Cards' defense is ranked 30th against the pass and 32nd against quarterback completions. They're allowing 4.8 yards per carry against running backs, and the rumor is at the moment is that Trace McSorley is going to start as the third choice quarterback. He's going to start the game. Last week when he came into the game, he got 7 completions out of 15 attempts, 95 yards, 2 interceptions, and finished on a 27.8 passer rating.
Yeah, and Bucks defense is very good. So yeah, like I said, they were my backup, mate. I'm fully with you on that choice.
So I'm going to go with Bucks.
Sam's just fuming because he realised he's got to have him to bet. That's why I was like, oh, Bucks are so iffy.
Do you not think?
They're just not very good this year. Not very good at all. They're nowhere near the team we've seen in years past. I've watched them a couple of times. They've been on about them on Good Morning Football, and it's just it seems it's screaming Brady's last rodeo. But who knows? I don't know. I just don't think they're a very good team at the minute.
I agree they're not, but at the same time, the Cards are just so bad. And
yeah, but like I just said, they're 3-3 on road. They're not that bad actually on road. But as you say, Trace McSorley, it's not too bad, I guess.
If it makes you feel better, mate, it's in Arizona, so.
And they've lost the last
4.
isn't
it? Oh, of course it is. Yeah, it's in it. Yeah, that's it. And lump on Bucks 1-7.
Happy days. He's happy.
Yeah,
they've
lost 1 and they're 1-7 at home, aren't they? So there you go. Says it all.
That's the end of our locks. So just a quick recap on my betting app, as I like to do now. That would make it 7-fold because unfortunately we haven't got Mr. Kemp's prediction on the NFL. So that would be Sheffield United, Preston, Plymouth, Notts County, the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, and the Tampa Bay Bucks. All to win would be just a slither under 14-1, 13.95 to 1. And I'll be having my £10 bet on that. Thank you very much.
And what was the odds?
Close off Christmas, wasn't it?
What did you say, Ag?
What was the odds? Sorry,
13.95. So call it 14-1.
Just 150 quid, then, won't it? Return.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fingers crossed for you. I'll carry things.
Just remember, if anyone is joining in, to bet responsibly.
Yes.
And only gamble what you can afford to lose.
Let's do the disclaimers. I forgot all about them. Going on to the scorers for the lock of the week, I'm going to go with Jerick McKinnon.
I fucking knew you were going to go
loves
for him.
Jerick McKinnon, doesn't he?
Mate. He's all in on him. I fucking knew it were happening.
I've picked him up in 3 fantasy leagues this week, so I am all in on Jerick McKinnon having a good week
done your
against the
homework.
Seahawks. I have done my homework. Our defense has allowed 19 rushing touchdowns this season, 2,269 rushing yards this season, and in his last 2 games, McKinnon has 16 attempts for 74 yards and 1 rushing touchdown, but he's also chipped in on the receiving side of things with 3 receiving touchdowns and 182 receiving yards. So I bet on him to get at least same as what he got last week, actually, a receiving and a rushing touchdown. I did that with Joe Mixon. He didn't score any, so I'm going to go with it with Jerick McKinnon. I think our defense is so bad that he's gonna get that.
Fair.
There we go. Sam?
I'm teetering. So I've got 2 in mind here, and I think they
Okay.
both
Go where you got.
go right.
Just don't pick the one that I've got.
I'm gonna go with Stephon Diggs against the Bears.
Ooh.
Obviously I've got them as my lock. I've done this quite a few times where I've backed the scorer from my lock. Stephon Diggs 10 TDs this season. However, he's had 0 touchdowns in his last 2 games, so I'm fully expecting it. The Bears are almost a perfect bounce back team, so I'm expecting him to come back and get a tuddy against the pretty poor Bears defense.
I hope you're right.
Nice.
I really hope you're right. Skin?
I am going to go for my second time in the 3 weeks, the King, Derrick Henry. He is facing the Houston Texans, who currently have the worst rushing defense in the league. So I have no reason to come away from him after he was successful for me a couple of weeks ago.
Are we allowing that? Can you keep going for the same every week?
Of course you can.
Hmm.
He's not going to score every week, is he?
No, I suppose. Okay, fair enough. We'll stick with you for the wildcard selections.
So I'm about to fuck shit up because I've
Okay,
just
yeah.
said Derrick Henry to score a touchdown against the worst rated or worst ranked rush defense in the
Here we go.
National Football League. But my wild card for this weekend is the Houston Texans to
Wow.
beat the Tennessee
Wow,
That was
Titans.
mine.
wow. You know what's even
Tennessee.
crazier? You've just fucking took mine as well. I'm
Yes!
fully on you, mate. I'm fully with you on that.
Yes!
I've got
Agree.
a sneaky feeling too, so I'm weird on it. I'm weird all the way.
Yes, love it, love it, love it. Texans, yes, they are the number, or they are due to have the first pick in the upcoming draft with their 1-12-1 record. But the Tennessee Titans have lost 4 out of their last 5 games. Well, they've lost the last 4 games in a row. They got battered by
Ireland.
Philadelphia. They got battered by Jacksonville. Yes, they had a tight game against Chargers, but they're absolutely battered to the back knacker. And Houston, in their last 2 games, have had very, very, very close
So
losses to
competitive.
the Chiefs.
So
Exactly.
competitive.
Chiefs and Dallas. We spoke about that on earlier in the week on the review show. So I'm going to take a punt and I'm going to go with the Texans as my wildcard pick. So sorry, Sam.
No, fantastic,
Sorry,
mate.
mate, I got 'em as
Fantastic.
well.
You got them as well?
Yeah.
A
They're my
clean
Oh
sweep
my
on the wild
God,
card. Holy shit.
shit.
That's the first time that's ever happened. And
Yeah.
we all fancy a 1-win team. Love that. Love that.
Amazing.
Is
Doesn't
that
say much
set?
for the
Win by
Titans, does
40.
it?
That's fell to me now, isn't it?
It has, yeah.
So I'm going to put this to you. I'm going to, if you let me have it or not,
Okay.
I am wanting the Packers to beat the Dolphins in Miami. I looked at the betting spread and we are underdogs and we're 17-10. So I'm going to
You
let
can have
you,
it for me, mate.
I'd let you have that.
yeah, 17-10. We are underdogs. I think they're about a 6-point favourite. I think Dolphins.
Yeah, you can have it.
So yeah, I'm gonna back my boys. Last week as well, backed them as my lock to beat the Rams. This week it's a wild card. I don't fancy him quite as much, but that's what the point of a wild card is, isn't it? As I say,
That's it.
Packers don't usually travel well to Florida as a rule of thumb, so we kind of melt in the the winter sun. So I'm going for it. Why not?
Yeah, no, it's
Love
a
it.
good shout. I'm going to have to go with my backup then, which is the Colts to beat the Chargers. I'm hoping I can have that one.
Ooh. Colts announced today that they're dropping Matt Ryan and Nick Foles will be starting.
Seen that?
Yep, I saw that about 20 minutes after I'd done all my research on the Colts to beat the Chargers. So
But you're still stuck with it, yeah?
I'm going to stick with it. The Colts have lost 4 on the bounce, so I'm going to take that as a wild card as they go up against the Chargers, who have won 2 on the bounce and are in very close proximity of claiming a wild card spot in the AFC. So I'm going to go with the Colts. I think last week against the Vikings, they proved that they can do it even without Jonathan Taylor. He went down quite early and left the game. He's out. I think he's going to miss the entire of the season. So to me, it's going to be a case of if they can perform like that and learn from their mistakes, then they ain't going to throw another 33-point lead away. And the Chargers, I think last week, looking at the stats for Justin Herbert, he threw for 313 yards, 2 interceptions, with a 68.9 passer rating against the Titans defense that hasn't been that great, but he didn't throw a touchdown either for the Chargers. So I
He's
think
justified that, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Did his own work, hasn't he?
I'm going to stick with the Colts on that one. So that's my wild card. I think that is all the wild cards and the locks. Skin, have you got the more written down?
I've got it, mate. I've already sent it to the group chat, and I will keep track as the weekend goes on. Ready to review them on Monday night's recording for Tuesday's release.
Lovely. I've seen something just while we're on the subject of NFL over the last week or so. I'm gonna shout out my boy Liam Godber here, a big Ravens fan.
Source.
I seen him tweet something the other day about their offensive coordinator Greg Roman.
Okay.
Greg Roman has a history of being a pretty good play caller in the NFL. Yep. They had the all-time rushing offense a few years back with the three-headed beast in the backfield plus Lamar. Yeah. But now everybody in Ravens flock, as they call them, they want him gone. They all want him out.
I'll have him
out of town.
But bring him to New England.
Bad, would it?
I'll take him.
What you've currently got.
Yeah, exactly, mate. What's the reason for it?
Well, I was just about to say last 5 games, and this is all going to come down to a big Lamar contract, by the way. So, last 5 games, Ravens points per game, 13.8, dead last in the NFL. Obviously, we know Lamar's gone down. That's why I'm saying the big contract for him. They just can't seem to run that offense without him. Pass yards per game, 169, 27th in the league. Wide receiver touchdowns last 5 games, 0. Red zone efficiency, 31%, 30th in the league. So them stats, absolutely damning. And you've just got to say Lamar's in a great position there for his contract negotiations with that front office, who are being quite stubborn with him. I think previously he was offered 250 million contract, but it was 133 million guaranteed. You can bet your bottom dollar after that, pun intended. After that last 5 games, I think that offer might just increase with guaranteed money.
Yeah, definitely. Makes all the difference, doesn't it? Is it that Greg Roman's not good enough, or is it just that if he's missing key players, anyone in that situation would struggle to perform at their best on field and off field with the coaching staff? So
but they've completely stalled. It's not like they've just done enough to scrape by. They're not near enough dead last in all offensive categories. It's absolutely fell off a cliff. And the job of the offensive coordinator is to work with what you've got, and if he hasn't got it, you work with it's next man up, innit? And I think they've got Brett Hundley as the 4th string QB, not starting, but he's an option. And after having him at Green Bay, I know what that must feel like. Just before we go on to your question of the podcast, I just want to give a shout out to Franco Harris, who died this week, age 72. The score of the Immaculate Reception, Steelers legend, NFL legend.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's been a big loss in the NFL this week, and I just thought I'd mention it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, and out of respect, I'm not going to ask a question of the episode, mainly because my question of the episode was for Kemp. So we'll save it for next week. But what I will close off on is just giving the people the usual places to go. If you are joining us and you found us in a random place, our name's been out there on Twitter today with how many impressions, Sam? About 30,000, was it?
35,000 last time I checked. Yeah,
35,000 as we put earlier in the week about the success we've had on TikTok over the last few days. So if you are finding us in random places, search for us in the following places to find us wherever you want to. Loaded Spot on Facebook, @LoadedSpot on Twitter, @Loaded_.
Go on.
Every fucking week I struggle with that. @_sports on Instagram, @LoadedSpot on TikTok, and then to listen to us on Spotify or YouTube, just search for Loaded Spot for both. Make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, give us a rating on Spotify if you can. And as always, recommend us as well, because word of mouth, if you're enjoying it, like-minded people that will enjoy the sports knowledge, the predictions, the analysis, and most of all, the laughs that come along with it, then that will help us get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm excited to see where we're going to be in the next few months and the next few years. So, yeah, we'll close on that this week, and we'll save the question of the episode for when Kemp's back.
Preach it, sister. Merry Christmas, everyone.